And we are back at Calithon 2018. We are just about to get started here with Frogger's Adventures 2 The Lost Wand with WinnerBit, so I'm going to pass it on over to you. Winner?
How's it going, everyone? This is WinnerBit, and this is Frogger's Adventures 2 The Lost Wand for the Nintendo Game Boy Advance. A lot of information in here. I'll go ahead and go over everything that we need to as we progress. However, first of all, I want to mention that for the most part, there's no difference in language whatsoever in this game, so I'm going to go ahead and play in Spanish and let you listen to this cutscene. And that's all the plot you need to know, folks. Let's go ahead and get right into the game. Alright. So, I'll explain a little bit in further detail as we go along, but we are ready to begin in 3, 2, 1. There we go. Alright, so we're going to be playing as Frogger, obviously. The plot of the game is to recover 5 shattered pieces of the intense smashing. The Eternity Wand, which, as we saw in the cutscene, was stolen by nefarious forces. But of course, since it shattered, we do have to recover all of the shreds from 5 different worlds, with 2 levels and a boss each. There we go. So, the second level is unusually technical for a Frogger game. It introduces trampolines, which only appear in this stage, strangely. But yeah, I'm just going to be going through here. Mistakes, misinputs are very easy in this level, so don't be surprised if that happens. Let's see. You can, let me explain the controls a little bit while I'm going through here. You press L and R to, safety save right there, to change direction without moving. D-pad, of course, is to hop. A button is to super hop or glide, as you're seeing me doing quite a bit here. And the B button uses your tongue to do things such as grab droplets or crystal frogs, push or pull platforms, things like that. So we're going to be coming up on our first death. That's fine. Let's see, where'd that put me? Oh, back here. Okay, that's not too bad. But yeah, I just got my first sub-30 time in this game less than a week ago, so hopefully we can at least get a 32 today. Good job, me. Well, I am not remembering everything that I wanted to talk about, but that's okay, I'm sure I will. The first shard of the wand that we are retrieving is the Fire Shard, which is coming up right up here. We're going to be fighting a boss called Dozy Dragon. Now, the quirk with the Eternity Wand is that each shard affects the new holder of the shard. And so, this guy is actually a salamander, but he's been transformed into a dragon by the Fire Shard. So we pretty much have to whack these birds in the head with our tongue until they're all gone and the dragon falls asleep. And then we can steal the shard, and our first mission is complete. And after a little while, we can get into a nice pattern of the birds either going from top to bottom or bottom to top, which reduces quite a bit of the running around I have to do. There we go, looks like we're getting bottom to top this time. Now I should mention that this is actually a sequel to Frogger's Adventures Temple of the Frog, which has some shared assets, but not as many as you would expect. This was actually developed by a different team from Konami. So, the mechanics are a little bit different, everything controls a little bit wonkier, but it's still a very lovable platformer for what it is. There we go. That was a good fight, for what fights are in this game. And now we're heading to the Ice World, where we will retrieve the Ice Shard. can just feel the Christmas spirit dripping off of these snowmen, by the way. And coming up is a very tight skip that I'll have to be almost frame perfect for most of the level, so hopefully I get it. Right after this penguin. Oh, I've already messed up. That's fine. It's just one cycle lost. I should mention that the controls in this game are a little bit awkward because there's no frame buffering. In Frog's Adventures Temple of the Frog, there is frame buffering. You can hop once every 10 frames and super hop once every 60. However, in this game, it's pretty much as fast as you can mash. But if you mash too fast, your inputs will drop. So that's what happened there while I was trying to get that skip. It only costs 7 seconds though, so no big deal. Alright, new skip coming up right here. Just gonna be going right here. There we go. That makes the later place of this stage quite a bit easier to handle. The intro cutscene we skipped. Let me go ahead and talk about that a little bit. I don't remember if... Actually, I do. His name is Pocus. He's a magician that randomly appears in Firefly Swamp, Frogger's hometown, and tells Frogger that we have to save the world, as is the standard for Frogger games, somehow. And he explains how the 5 shards of the Eternity Wand have been scattered across the various islands in this magic world. The skip used to be tight, but no longer is it. Also, yes, I can words. Trust me. And so, yeah, basically after he pops out of Frogger's mirror as he's brushing his teeth in the morning, he lands on top of Frogger, starts explaining rapidly, and whisks Frogger off on this adventure. However, not all is as it may seem, which I will get to in about the 4th world. So there are 5 shards of the Eternity Wand. The Fire Shard, which we've already saved. The Ice Shard, which we will be collecting after the next boss. As well as the Light Shard, the Darkness Shard, and the Machine Shard. So those are all the 5 essential elements, obviously, but severely misinterpreted. Second. Nice, got the skip. So, this boss coming up is called Frostbite, and he is, at first glance, a snowman, at second glance, a mechanical snowman, and at third glance, a seal. You'll see what I mean as I approach it. By the way, on these mine carts, you just have to stay on the top and middle carts. You don't ever have to go to the bottom cart. Just a little quirk. There we go. Quick stretch break. What's nice about this run is that you do get stretch breaks. Temple of the Frog does not give you stretch breaks. Alright, here we go. Now this may look like RNG at first, but it actually is not RNG in the slightest. It gives you the same pattern every time. So I'm going to be going right over here. I'm going to be heading down. It's going to continue like this for some time. Some bombs will have to tongue twice, as you see. So if we have any donations, or if you want to do a quick plug, then feel free to. This is the perfect opportunity.
Sure thing. We have a $5 donation from Lori D. Bunnykins saying, "You can't be Green Man without a green armor color. Good luck to WinnerBit and all other runners who still have runs to do."
Thanks, Lori. So now the second phase is going to be tossing out 2 bombs at a time. We're going to have to deal with 3 phases during this fight, and you can already guess what he's going to do on the 3rd phase. However, certain bombs will actually try to fall on top of you while you're taking care of the first one, so a little bit of quick maneuvering is required. Also, if you mess up once and fall into a hole, you have to do this entire fight over again, which is part of the reason I set the estimate about 5 minutes higher than the run is expected to take. There we go. That's what I was talking about. Alright, phase 2 down. There we go. Okay, so what just happened there was the input got eaten because I tried to hop up and right, but the up input got eaten because I was tonguing the bomb, and so it only went right. Fortunately, it gives us the same pattern. However, on refights, that is not the case. That's another thing I want to talk about, actually, so this is the perfect opportunity to do so. The refights are basically when you go back in and fight all of the bosses again after you've completed the entire game. Notable differences include this boss chucking out bombs at about twice the rate it is right now, so you're constantly on your toes, especially in the third phase. And Fiery Guardian, which is the next boss we'll be fighting, also has a lot faster platforming to do. And as you'll see in the fourth world in particular, the platforming is not very good in this game. This is going to take about a minute longer, so go ahead and grab a snack or do whatever you want to. Go ahead and donate at twitch.tv/calathon/subscribe. There we go, phase 2. Okay, we're back where we were. Up and right. There we go. Success! First try, everyone. Let's go. I think part of it might also be the fact that I run on an LCD, and this is not quite the same, so a little bit of input lag, but that's fine. Alright, where are we going next? Down here. Alright, last 3. And we're good. Alright, headphone users, quick warning. This final cutscene was directed by Michael Bay. Just a forewarning. I'm not kidding. I could just imagine the Konami boardroom meeting they had about that. It needs more explosions! Alright, so this is the Fire Island. Essentially where most runs go to die, but we'll do our best here. There are a couple of skips that are particularly tight in these first 2 levels. Actually, only 2 levels. There's the first one. And there is a theoretically achievable skip in the next level, but I think since I'm obviously not frame perfect right now, I'll go ahead and pass on it. I'll just explain it when I get to it, though. This fire is surprisingly tight. The hitboxes in this game are very wonky. There's another tight skip. Right here. You're not supposed to be able to grab this life, but I'm gonna go ahead and do it anyway. Yeah, the tongue hitbox, as I've said. Hitboxes are very weird in this game. And so the tongue hitbox can kind of just barely extend further than it's supposed to. Get ready for some very fancy pyrotechnics right here. Almost too early. Alright, now let's see if we can get this skip first try. If we don't, it's okay because the setup for it after you die is a lot easier. First try, let's go. Okay, that saves about 15 seconds. Now this is Magma Cavern. A very long level, actually the longest in the entire run. So once again, donations or a plug would be a very appropriate thing to insert in this amount of time.
Sure thing. We have 2 donations come up here. One from Leafeon with $5 saying, "Loud explosion noises, courtesy of Lost Wand." We also have another $5 donation from Vajirala saying, "Hey winner, I managed to be up for your run. I wish good luck, have fun to you and all other runners. I wish
Thank
I
you so
had
much.
something to repeat here as an in-joke, but let's just pretend I gushed about some obscure video game like I usually do, okay?
Sounds good, dude.
Also, sweet frog hat."
Yo, thanks. I'm just gonna go ahead and mention how great this soundtrack is just for you. That's an in-joke for you. Alright, so these conveyor belts, once again, this is the only place that you're going to find these conveyors in the entire game. That's kind of a signature of the Game Boy Advance Frogger games, is that... Okay, a little slow right there. That's okay, because I've got this checkpoint. You can pretty much expect that any Frogger game is going to, as long as it's on the Game Boy Advance, it's going to introduce mechanics that are never again touched upon for the rest of the game. So anything you learn in the progress of playing the game, you're going to have to completely relearn something new for the next level. It's pretty unique in that sense. Also, I want to take this opportunity to egg Konami on about potentially reviving this series, at least someday. Because they haven't made, at least in my opinion, they haven't made a good Frogger game since 2005, so... Get on your game, Konami. I mean, look how much fun we're having. Alright. A little slow right there, because I grabbed the safety checkpoint, but since it did grab the safety checkpoint, we start again right here. It's kind of a self-occurring paradox there. These fire bars are actually ridiculous as far as their hitbox goes. In fact, so ridiculous that on these 2 going up, I have to super hop right here instead of simply walking over to the platform, because otherwise you literally get 2 frames to make that maneuver. The reason the super hopping works is because when you super hop, you get snapped right to the grid, and you don't get carried by the platform any further. However, when you simply hop, you do get... I'm gonna have to do that because I hopped too early right there. When you simply walk off the platform, you get dragged into the fire. And that's not a good thing for the speedrun. Okay, so here's Fiery Guardian. Go ahead and put some bless RNGs in chat, guys. Because this is the most significant instance of RNG in the entire game. What attacks this guy does, and where the gem spawns, which is right behind me. So I'm gonna have to grab this light shard 3 times without dying. It's a good spawn right there. And I just want to point out that there was a fire shard we had to retrieve earlier, and that would have been perfect for this level, but Konami was like, too easy. Right, and that was actually a perfect fight. Skip one more cutscene, and we are on to the land of the Dark Shard, which is the Spooky Island. Not even kidding, that's what it's called. There is theoretically a skip I could do right here that would save about 2 seconds, but it requires you to be frame perfect for about 10 seconds straight. Alright, I messed up my inputs there. It's a good thing I grabbed that safety checkpoint. That's what you're supposed to do. Alright, we got these plants that appear in almost every Frogger game since the arcade game. Unfortunately, that's the only time we'll have to deal with them. We can get this cycle if we're fast, and we were. I'm going to be quiet here because this is very easy to mess up. A, B, A, R, B, A, etc. And we're good. You might have noticed these floating cards, which I collected one of them in the ice mines. Those are for unlocking a special bonus game in each level. Since this is any percent, we don't collect them. However, when I eventually route 100%, that's right, I said when, not if. They will have to be collected. There are 4 in each level. However, they are completely non-essential to the overall run. Coming up is a developer-intended strat that I get once every 3 tries or so, even now. So that's not going to be very much fun to deal with. Hopefully we can get it very quickly, however. Even my current PB got its 2nd try, so it's not an easy trick. It's not even a trick either. You might be noticing no Roman numerals on the walls. You'll have to memorize those, so I hope you've been keeping track. However, fortunately, once again, those are not RNG, so what it leads up to is exactly the same every time. And these ghosts are canonically not even supposed to exist. They are just the spirits of the monks who were awakened by the Dark Shard. There we go. That's how easy it is to fail this area, because of that very same grid snapping that saves us extra time in the magma caverns. So it's a double-edged sword. However, shoutouts to Mr. Shasta for discovering this visual cue. He's the only other runner of this game. There we go, 2nd try, so not bad. Just want to put in the good word for the Frogger speedrunning community. We're about 36 members strong at this point. However, we would love to see more people join the bandwagon, so if this looks interesting to you, there are plenty of people willing to assist you in learning and running pretty much any Frogger game there is out there, so go ahead and hit us up on the Discord if you're so inclined, and hope to see you soon. Okay, coming up here is probably the most tricky area besides the number 2 room, which we just passed. However, if I'm able to react quickly enough, I can do this first try. Alright. Good there. It's the next room up here. Alright, first try, there we go. This is supposed to be a little puzzle that you use the lights on the wall there to figure out. I got stuck there for 2 hours casually though, because how are you supposed to relate what's on the wall to what's literally right in front of you? It's pretty strange. Anyway, now let's go kill Death. On a giant floating island, 1,000 yards above the ground. Alright, there was good luck right there. He's going to swipe either twice or 3 times. Twice or thrice, if you will, for these first 2 phases. Alright, that was good luck too, for him to shimmy on over there. This is perfect luck so far. And where the dark shards, or the light shard rather, spawns each time is random as well. Now he's going to swipe 4 to 6 times. Wow, that was absolutely perfect luck. And I got cornered, so never mind about that perfect luck. Now I have to do the whole fight over again. However, I do get to show off a little bit more movement tech. This guy's hitbox is exactly 1 square, which means if he decides to try to move in front of you like he just did just then, there is a chance that while you're just normally hopping around, he will insert his hitbox into yours and cause some troubles. So you definitely don't want that, especially on the third phase. I have lost runs to this guy, so I guess if chat has any more Bless RNGs, I could use them. There we go. And we're good. Epilepsy warning if you're watching on 60 FPS. And we're good. Alright, so this was actually a squirrel all along. So far the Fiery Guardian is the only thing that is what it purported to be. Alright, right off the bat, we're gonna try to get a very tight skip. I failed this twice in PB. Nope, didn't get it. And this is made harder by the numerous obstructions in front of the camera. There we go. Alright, and this level is probably the worst level in the entire game, because you do actually need to do some very tight tricks. I'm not sure if I would call them skips. They're just time-saving tricks. I'll explain them in further detail once I get there. But yeah, we used to have to death warp right here to line up these cars properly. But we found out that if you do the quick cycle in the beginning, then the cars line up perfectly and you don't have to death warp. Alright, and these are conveyors. Now, this is what I was talking about earlier. I'm gonna have to be very quick on my toes about 12 times in a row later on, doing that, which is reaching the end of the conveyor belt, turning, and then immediately hopping. I'm going to go ahead and grab the safety save. Because here we go. And we got it first try. That is not easy.
Just want to throw in a quick donation here from Flaming Quilava saying, "Hey, a winner. Thought I'd give out my last donation and $10th during your run. You're amazing and such a great friend to have. Good luck on the run and have a good luck."
Thanks. You are too, Quee. Alright, so what I'm doing here is grabbing an early cycle, and I missed it because my input got eaten right at the last second, but that's okay. We're gonna start right here. That's why I grabbed this checkpoint. I'm gonna wait this out. Go. And this eye is RNG, so you have to hope that it doesn't swing over and fry you. And we're good. So this level recently got some rerouting that saves about 30 seconds over the old strats. Unfortunately, I already cannot show it off to you in its entirety because I messed up once. However, this is by far the most non-linear of the levels as far as routing goes. Alright, now I have to pass this very intense turning and jumping area and not get fried by the laser cannons, all before the next checkpoint, so this is a little bit... This is the last, like, really tricky part of the run. So I'm gonna go ahead and explain the final boss to you before we get there, since there is a lot to explain. I had to take safety strats there. Couldn't time that one out. It was all wonky because these are stage timers or spawn timers. And since I died once, I couldn't do my usual strat. Anyway, the final boss is basically a card game, a match 3 card game. There are 5 sets of 3, for a total of 15 cards, plus 1 whammy card, which is the final boss. So you have to flip over all 5 sets of cards in order to beat the final boss. I found out recently that there are actually 5 specific patterns in which the cards can potentially appear. So, whereas it used to be thought of as RNG, now it's a simple matter of execution and finding out which pattern you got. Anyway, this is Simon Says, the boss. 3, 2, 1, 3, 4. This is 100% RNG. 3, 1, 2, 3. Now you may think that I may have just thrown in that one to jape you, but I actually saw the future, as you'll see in just 1 second after we play Smoke on the Water. 1, 3, see, I told you. Alright, that's phase 1 down. 1, 3, 5, 3, 2. Three, 4, 5, 3, 2, 1. Three, 1, 2, 4, 3, 5, 3. Please do not call that number. Tell them WinnerBit sent you, and that's the end of the game. Also directed by Michael Bay. No, not the end of the game. I apologize. The end of the main phases. Now you see this guy is turning evil. That's because he actually has been evil this entire time. He's been disguising himself as Hocus, but he's actually Pocus. So we have to save Hocus now, the real Hocus, who is trapped in the magician's realm. So I have to rescue him from this horrid land full of presents and top hats. Also Jack-in-the-Boxes in the background. This is very tight right here, deceptively so. Nice, we got it. You have about 3 spare frames to take care of that jump before it's all over. Let's see where these guys are. Gonna have to wait for that guy. Alright. So we're coming up on the final boss here. By the way, that last boss we defeated held the technology shard, and he is actually what tipped us over into knowing that Hocus was disguising himself as Pocus. Or was it Pocus and Hocus? I don't remember. I can never remember, but it's fine. We're just about finished with the run, so let's go ahead and get some OS frogs in chat. Capital O, capital S, capital F, R-O-G. Fire. So that's, since that's a tree, I'm gonna check this one next, and that is plasma, so we have pattern 1. And that's the end of the fight. So time is coming up really soon. As soon as the droplets in the upper right corner count down back down to 4, we will be finished. And time. So now Frogger gets to turn on the TV and relax. Glad to be back. Okay? So everything's going wonky again. It's because Hocus and Pocus have been reunited. Now Pocus, or is it Hocus, has his own Eternity Wand, and they're playing a few tricks on Frogger. Just as a kind of right back at you, bro. So, that was the entire game. Peace has been restored to Firefly Swamp, and all is right with the world. So thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed the rest of the marathon, and it's been a pleasure as always. I will see you next time.
That was quite the riveting run by WinnerBit, with a final time of 33:17.